Welcome to Inquiry into Self. And I'm going to share another personal experience here that demonstrates the amount of creativity it might take to really get to the final turnaround. So I was living in Manhattan at the time and I need to buy a subway ticket. I would buy a monthly pass. And I was at the machine and this guy started trying to sell me a ticket. I said, no, thank you. And as I'm doing my transaction, he pushes cancel on the machine. And, he insists. Again, I say, no, thank you. Then I start my transaction. He pushes cancel again. I look at him and say, really, I'm not interested. I start my transaction. He pushes cancel again. Now, the attendant is busy, and this guy is obviously, I'm not going to stop him physically. So I decide to just hear him out. He makes his case. He says, look me in the eye, trust me, blah, blah, blah. I go ahead and buy a ticket from him. He runs it through the gate courteously so I can go through and passes it to me through the rails. And the next time I get on the subway, it doesn't work. So I feel like I've been totally manipulated. I knew not to buy the ticket from him, I thought, and lo and behold, I did. So I go through the turnarounds and I discovered, this is a great opportunity to learn to say no, to stand up for myself, to trust my intuition. But somehow the day still feels dreary. This has really put a wrench in my day. So I know I have not completed the turnarounds. So I'm thinking, what other turnaround could there be? And I like puzzles, so I kept persisting. This was a puzzle. So it's an opportunity for really getting creative here. And, you may find, I'm just too tired out. I'm not going to find it. But, the power of the turnarounds is persisting until we actually get to joy and lightness. It's that freedom that brings our life into truth. It's that freedom that then we share with others in our exchanges and makes the world a better place. If somebody were going to pay you $1 million, you might find extra creativity, right? So I take that level of intention. So I kept thinking, in what situation would I steal from somebody like he did? I wanted to understand him better. Well, really, I couldn't think of one at first, but I kept probing and probing. I'd have to be really desperate. Maybe I'd have children at home to feed. And it'd have to be stealing from someone who it would do no harm to. So maybe somehow I was in a room where there was a buffet and I saw these people who had endless access to food. They kept filling their plates, coming back to their table. And suppose somebody went to the bathroom and I could take their plate and know that they could just go back up and refill it. And in a desperate moment, maybe I would. And feeling that inside me, I could feel how desperate I would feel to get to that point. I'd have to feel so hopeless. I'd have to feel like there was no other option, like my competence wasn't valued in the world where I could make a contribution and get paid for it. I'd have to feel very powerless. And then I realized that guy must feel the same way. Like everybody would prefer to share their talents and get rewarded. Nobody in their deepest parts thinks stealing from somebody else is, a fulfillment in their life. You have to feel like there's just no room, no appreciation for what you have to contribute, that you'd resort to that. And as I felt that, I felt so much compassion for him. My heart opened up and I wished him well. And I felt light and joyful. Nothing bad had happened to me. This poor person, he was suffering, not me. And in that moment of lightness and joy, the situation was over. So this is the possibility of pursuing inquiry all the way through. And then we arrive at the freedom that knows nothing happens to us, everything happens for us.